Good morning, investors and traders. Welcome to a weekend review, a MAGA weekend review. Since seeing that Donald Trump won the presidential election and, markets have reacted very strongly. And as I look through the charts, it's like, wow, there's some really strong reactions. So it's going to be pretty interesting. A very bullish look this week, but like everywhere, there's some cross currents. So we will see what's going on. It is what time is it? It's almost 10:15 a.m. on Sunday, November 10th. I apologize for being a little bit late. Just have a ton of stuff to do. It was a busy week, and there's a lot of extracurricular stuff going on. Yeah, I was posting a lot of political stuff because I was really jacked on political stuff, but overall, I'm trying to reduce my Twitter and stay off it. But anyways, it is what it is. Okay, so for anyone who's never watched one of my videos, I'm an independent investor, trader, and I developed a unique trading system, which I think runs pretty well, and I hope you agree if you're watching it. It's based on the book How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market by Nicholas Darvas, and I've added elements from other strategies as well, notably the strat strategy. Basically, my system uses boxes from the book by Darvas, which can also be quote bases, and then I've got different colors on my charts, my bars. And the colors signify different things. And that's how you read and interpret charts. When you look at the volume, when you look at the signals that the market is telling us, it helps make trading so much easier, in my opinion. And because all you got to do is pay attention to the signals and then trade the reaction to the signals. Oh, look, a signal. Let's prepare and get ready for a possible reaction to the signal. That's it. Duh. You don't need to draw trend lines. You don't need to be trading up a storm intraday. It's working. It's not. It's working. It's not. You can be an investor. You don't need to be a frenetic day trader or anything like that. And you can still make really good money. So how I've got this set up, I've got 4 lists here. Actually 6 lists that I move stocks around on. We're going to look at only the 4 because I'm only interested in the stuff that's actually triggered a signal. And as you're going to see, there's a lot of stuff that's triggered a signal. So we're going to try and do this as fast as possible. So I always start on indexes, and this is basically the first one. It's all sorted by alphabetical. The AMZ, the MLP index, which is income. It provides lots of income. There's different funds or closed-end funds or whatever, and it's all based on oil energy. And as you can see, AMZ is going sideways and had a nice little, call it a Trump bump right there. But again, sideways trend, not much going on. For someone like me who's owned stuff in there for a long time and gets dividend checks, it's fabulous. But steady Eddie is just fine. Okay, here is a chart of ARK. And, Donald Trump must have won because, for Christ's sake, look at that reaction here. If Cathie Wood is making money, everyone is making money. That's pretty much the mantra on her schedule, on her strategy, because basically she stinks. But look at that. Big, strong Darvas box breakout, reaction to the election. I keep ARK around because some people hate it that it's on it, but again, it's got great colors, which I can explain to the audience. Yellow bar buy signal right there, and the reaction, trade the reaction. Blue signal, which is generally a bullish signal, followed by many times by a red bar, but as we see in this case, not always. Hello, welcome to the stock market. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but you can get some good probability. Pink bars, which are the same as blue except opposite, with a bearish tint. These light grays are inside bars, and all of these are valid trading signals. The oranges are hammers, like right here, and shooters, which are inverse hammers. So hammers and shooters are either bullish or bearish, and you can trade off these signals. That's all you need to do. And then you've got volume, and I think volume is incredibly important because volume tells you the strength of the signal. How intense is the signal? Is it a really strong signal, or is it a very weak signal? So anyways, we see here ARC is going. So if ARC's going, everybody's making money. Whoop. BZJ, proxy for oil. So sort of a sideways, roughly sideways to downtrend. It's trying to go sideways, but it's been under some pressure. One could argue this is the beginning of a new Darvas box right here, box range. And, I like to look for 2 weeks up in a row. And technically this hasn't had it. Up, down, up, down. So that's not really a start. And then whenever it makes a low, I want this low to hang out like right here. I want it to hold for at least a couple of weeks in a row as well. So while this looks like a new box range, it actually does not qualify per my system. So we'll just leave that alone. Okay, here's the NASDAQ. Last week, the NASDAQ gave a pink bar warning signal. Like it went from, look at all the signals. So it went shooter signal, bearish, and it went down. Then it sort of rebounded here. Not much of a signal, but you see, a lot of volume. Yellow bar buy signal, there's your signal to get back long. Moved higher, a hammer signal. Okay, worked. Stay long, another hammer, but then sort of we're getting close to an election. Bullish, but a lot of bears or people just, being cautious. We're like, I don't know, man, this election. Then a pink bar signal here, which is a warning. Sit up. This could get real. But it's not a call to sell everything. It's just pay attention. And here's our resolution. I don't know about the election, man. Okay, we had the election. Oh, Trump won. Okay, boom, buy it. Whoosh. And now here we go. We have a Darvas box breakout. All systems green. Does that make sense to you? You see how these signals came together? You see how I interpret the action? If you had a similar interpretation, then we're all on the same page. If you had a very different interpretation of what to do, then I don't know what to say. Because that interpretation I just walked you through is pretty much how things went. And this is how you use the bars to figure out what the market's trying to tell us. Right here, Ethereum, shooter bar that's bearish. Again, we're going into an election. People are nervous. And the reaction, big bullish reaction. Everything got bought. And it's definitely a bull signal when the action in the bar following negates, it hits the high of that prior signal. That's your trigger right there if you wanted to buy it. If you loved Ethereum, you should have been buying it at 23. FFTY, proxy for growth. Look at that, boom, election result. And notice here, the volume tells a story. Sell, sell, sell. But then the biggest bar of the sequence, buy. So that's where the bulls said, okay, you guys have been selling here, but you're crazy at this point. And look how the trend changed from that point on. Not an easy trend change, but it all changed based on the buyers in this bar. That's how you got to read volume, Volume is signal. Now here's the opposite. Okay, China started to break out here. Not the biggest signal, but then I forget what the news was. Boom, went up, buy. But then right here, owners of this said sell, and they screamed it a lot bigger than any of the buys. And as a result, this trend has now stopped, and nothing happened afterwards. So the bulls are basically humbled, humiliated at this point. And now what does it do? Instead of a Trump gap up, it forms a shooter bar, and that's bearish. So Buy China from back in here, maybe 100% wrong. We shall see. Because we've got a signal, now we got to see the reaction to the signal. Gold, oh, look at that. Bearish shooter bar, and that actually triggered downside. So, yeah, I would call that a peak for gold at this time. Now, again, this next week it might turn around and, do anything, but if I was long gold here, and I'm not, but if I was, so you got to take these signals seriously. Otherwise, it doesn't work. High yield bonds, junk bonds. So we've got a potential Darvas box here. We got a high point that's been set here, coming down, and now we got a potential low point. And it looks like if we get a decent week, that low will hold. So that's why I drew the box. And voila, we have a box. Now you could have bought the breakout here and been like, well, I don't know, man. Am I making money? But this weekly trend line is still moving higher. So yeah, not the strongest, but you didn't need to run and sell either. All depends. Oh, and you know what? Let's say you did buy the breakout and you wanted to book some profits. Well, you judged it against here. There's your low. You would have been sold out right here in 79 something. So you might have made a little scratch piece of money. Insurance. I love the insurance. I think this index is incredible. Potential box here. See, you got a high and now a potential low. I'm being ahead of time, but yeah, if you bought here, now it's just going sideways again. Bitcoin. Inside week, bearish shooter, but no, the bulls kept buying it. Okay, that's a box breakout, and we'll see what happens. But there was a signal. Everybody got nervous about the election. Okay, that's reasonable. But once Donnie won, boom, breakout. Software, woof, look at that. Now, this is an argument for if a stock or something has a signal and a breakout, and even if it's messing around or it's sort of doing nothing, the argument is you stay long until you get a contrary signal, a signal. And many times it's hard to do because this is like futzing around and you don't know, and gee, maybe I ought to take profits in the election. Well, if you can sit, then you can reap the benefits of stuff like this. If you sold in here because it was choppy and you're nervous, well, you missed out on this. And trust me, as we'll see in the breakout section, I missed a bunch of breakouts where I sold early. And, I'm wise enough now not to beat myself up about it, but I look at the charts and I'm like, oh, man, So the validity of signals and using them, staying long until you get a contrary signal is something that if you can master, and then you'll make a lot more money than you think you will, because you'll be a confident trend investor, trend following investor. So, like here, buy signal, be long, stay long, stay long. Okay, it's working. Stay long, stay long, stay long. Boom. Now you're really loving it. Housing, not as much of a bump. Look at this. There's a potential box right there. And again, I think the big premise on housing is how many buyers are actually out there at these interest rates? I don't know if there's as many as people think. And I think the market is beginning to see that. So we'll see. Microcaps, box breakout, boom. Same setup. IWM, box breakout, boom. Look what didn't participate. Healthcare. I wonder if Trump has plans for healthcare. I do not know. But sort of a tepid reaction when you compare it to, let's say, the IWM. Interesting relative strength. The transports flash 2 signals. I don't know, man. I don't know. And now a big box breakout here. So I guess Trump winning has eased up a lot of potential fears that investors may have had. But we'll see. It takes time. Equal weighted, same as the others. There's another thing on gold. Look at the signal here. This is one funded gold. Look at that red, red. People were selling this. Take the signals seriously. When you get volume attached to the signals, you got to take them seriously because they're for real. The more volume, the more likely the signal is going to work. Box breakout on the Qs. Interesting that volume was low on the QQQs, especially because these are dominated by the biggest tech stocks ever, all over. Very interesting. RSP. This one's been running a lot longer than the Qs, and look at that. Coming in. Nope. Market reaction goes up. Short-term rates were plummeting here, now begin to stabilize a little bit. Bonds just have been struggling and probably will struggle. Semiconductors, not really doing much of anything. Where's the big bust out from the election? I don't see it. S&P 500, yep, doing fine. SPYs, sentiment, yep, we were down near lows with the election, and boom, back up to a much higher level. Same deal. Better sentiment here, better sentiment here. Amazing. Oh, and now the crap sector, the tan, the solar. Boo-hoo, breaking my heart. Pink bar signal, very bearish. And we've had a box breakdown here, and this is just a proxy. So imagine what the underlying stocks are doing. But that looks awful. And if we back out, yeesh. How about a monthly look? Monthly, box breakdown. So you see, this is what I do. I will buy longs that you're doing good, and I will short weaklings. Do you think I'm short this? You betcha. Not the tan, different solar. But, there's nothing bullish here. So that's how I create a long-short portfolio, and it smooths out some volatility. And you don't need to be Texas hedged all the time. A Texas hedge is when you're long common and long calls. You're long to the gills. Texas. Makes sense. But yeah, solar looks horrible. And the Democrats, this is largely a Democrat invention because solar, in my opinion, is terribly inefficient. So it is what it is, reflecting reality. TLTs, hammer time. Look at that, a bullish hammer. Pink bar, pink bar, pink bar, all of this downtrend. And now that's a potential bullish signal, but the way the U.S. government spends money, I don't know if that's going to do much from here. But potential bull. The VIX. Look at that. The VIX was threatening. This is part of why I called it a warning last week before the election, because this was threatening to break out. Well, we're going to crash. But now here we've come back from the edge. Look at that. Look at that move. And this is on arithmetic. Let's just put it to log to make it look a little easier. So you see, we've come back from the precipice. People are breathing sighs of relief. Or the market is. REITs, doing all right. Big Darvas box, whatever. Housing, same deal as the other one, sort of sideways. Oh, look at that. Oil and gas. Box breakout with a yellow bar buy signal. Well, we'll see what happens. If oil prices, don't go up, this may pull in again. But, if you're looking to buy Exxon or Chevron or whatever, well, there's a buy signal. So we'll see. Finances. Look at that. We had a breakout here, very light one. Came in a little bit, did not much of nothing, and there we go, breakout. And now utilities. Not as much action here. You got this inside week. It resolved to the negative. Sure, it benefited from a bump, but it's still 3 weeks below its high. So less relative strength there. Okay, let's go into list 2. This here is big volume textbook box breakouts. Look how many there are that qualified that I put in here. There's a lot. Now, some of them have been in continuation where you just shouldn't have sold it. Like, for example, I sold this one. In hindsight, should I have sold it? No. Look at this. Look at this piece of shit. God, this just bugs me to no end. So I was a buyer in here at the box breakout, and if we back it up, it looked that looks pretty decent as a breakout, huh? Volatile signals in here, potential sell, another thing, sort of a half one, and I sold up here. But then we got a bullish signal here, and now look at this bar. Unbelievable. I have no idea. So I thought I was doing well, making around 50%. No, I should have made 100+%. So annoying. But you know what? I didn't see that coming. But there's the argument for once you buy, sit and let it do its thing until you get a valid contra signal. Now, granted, this here is a valid contra signal. I mean, not the strongest, but what are you supposed to do? It's in front of an election. But to have this happen, oh man, that just sucks. Box breakout here on, what is that, Affirm. But look how it's sold down half here. There's better candidates, but it's in this because it fits the profile. Amazon, box breakout right here. Bezos keeps selling, but market don't care. Look at that. AXON. Look at this bar. Unbelievable. Oof, I wish I had owned that. You could have bought it here. You could have bought it here and just sit on your butt and look at the return on this from 376. Now it's at 600. Oh my Lord. You could have bought it way back here and followed the weekly trend and just been a buy and holder. What a winner. Now, a different question now is, if you own this, should you be selling here? That's a good question. BLND, tied to mortgage rates, box breakout. The bros, look at this reaction. Unbelievable. Yellow bar buy signal, Darvas box breakout. If we go to the daily, look at that. Look at that move. Unbelievable. And I was messing around with it in here. I never thought it would do this. And by the way, there's no signals in here. So there was no, in my opinion, unless you loved it, you could have bought it a signal here, but you'd have been really tested down in here. So it just is what it is. But look at that now. Unbelievable. This one, box breakout here, keeps going higher. Beautiful return. I traded a couple times. I just couldn't make it work for me. But green, 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 green. Yeah, buyers keep coming. This one, box breakout moving higher. Box breakout here on CVNA. Look at that move. Keeps going higher. Now, I know I tweeted that the Garcia family's been selling a lot of stock. They are smart operators, but with the change in the financial landscape and everything, this could go all the way up to here or more. I mean, who knows? If you had bought it back here or bought it back in here, you're just loving it. Monthly. Here's your signal. Here's where the super smart money was buying. They were buying between 13 and, well, call it 40 something. And now it's at 240. Amazing, huh? That's close to a 20 bagger for those buyers in here. Nice. And they didn't have to buy any options. Ha ha. This is a great example of when the volume is going big, people are doing this stuff for a reason. There's a lot of smart people out there, and they can't hide their footprints. There's the footprints right there. Granted, it was on a monthly chart, but look at the net result. Amazing. Geo, big beneficiary of Trump, I'm assuming. Boom, box breakout. Look at that rip. Here we go. Another one I'm sad about, which I traded. Bought it in here, sold it in here. Thought I did great. Are you kidding me? I did terrible. I should have held it for this move. And again, my point about there was no real signals here. Yeah, the volume kind of got to me and all that, and we're before an election, but turns out I should have just ignored it all. And look at it, look at where it is now. Amazing. Well, I regret that one. JP Morgan, box breakout. MicroStrategy, MSTR, box breakout moving higher. Oracle, a new box breakout. They had the big move right here, and the big move back here, and the big move back here. You think if we paid attention to the big boys here and just sat on our butt, you think we'd be doing okay? Most likely. Look at that, another box breakout here. Volume's not so high, but yeah, that's okay. PLTR. Boom, look at that move. And I had circled this as a potential caution because you had this bar from way back here and now it's hitting the highs, but yeah, clearly that don't matter. Look at that. Boom. One question is that a sell spot? Well, who knows? We'll find out. Roblox, box breakout, moving higher. Rubric, I own this one. Box breakout, moving higher, but you know, while that's nice, it's not as much as some of the other ones. It's like, damn. Reddit, look at this thing. Up, box breakout. Man, look at that rip. I never thought it would go up there. I missed that one. I do have this one moving higher. So you see, even though I miss big moves, like on some of these, I'm still doing just fine. You know, that's the beauty of the market. So long as you pick something and it's a strong bull market, you're going to make money. Just try and pick the right ones and stick with them. Shop. Box breakout. Not very strong though, but it makes the list. Spotify keeps going slowly but surely. This one, TEM. I don't really know this one, but look at that. Blammo. Went from 44 to 73. This is what I like. I like the smaller caps that do stuff like this because I've got trust money and everything that has Oracle and all that. So, you know I'm making money when these big mega caps go. It's the small stuff where I can really add value for my personal situation. You may own mutual funds like your 401k. You know, large cap, mega cap funds. Well, if you do, you know that if the big stocks are moving, you're making money. So concentrate on the small caps. But look at that, blammo. Box breakout. Tesla. I do not own Tesla because again, we've got it in funds and all that. But box breakout, pull in, box breakout again. Elon making money. Look at that. URI going up. Continuation. VST. Power. Box breakout right there. Now, is this the best looking chart? Well, this is getting a little choppy, but again, if you stayed the course, you'll tend to do well if it's a bull market. Walmart. Keeps chugging away. Look at that. If you'd bought Walmart on the breakout here, you're doing fantastic. Big funds, your big mutual funds. Oh, amazing. The Wolf, I own this one. Boom. So at least I am making some money here. So if you're not making any money, you may be trading too often or you may just be picking the wrong signals. Look at this. Here's another one I sold. Thought I was being prudent. I bought it here. No real big signals in here, but I bought it here. I sold it here. You know, it's before an election. Okay. Blammo. Well, do I feel stupid? Yeah, I sure do. Look at that. Oh, gosh. Well, nothing I can do. Or this one, APP. No real signals in here, but look at this thing. Unbelievable. The real time to have bought it was back in here, or here, or here. What a move. Now, I know someone who sold APP like somewhere in here and thought they were doing well and all that. But again, it comes back to the topic of don't sell if you can help it. Don't sell unless you get a really valid signal. Otherwise, sit and stay the course. And by the way, this list is bullish signals. Stuff that doesn't quite fit the box breakout, but are bullish. Berkshire, there's a bullish signal. Kava keeps moving up. No real signals, but it just keeps moving. Coin, look at this. Chop City. Breakdown. Where is it? Breakdown. Yeah, buy signal right here. I covered right there. There's a potential signal here, yellow bar buy signal. Oh, but then it pulled in, negative before the election. And now blammo. Away it goes. But there's no real box patterns here. It's just a heck of a lot of churn. Look at all this. People can't make up their mind about coin. Dash keeps going up. There's a buy signal. It hit the top. Again, that election, I don't know, man. The election warning signal, but then it didn't play out. If Harris was elected, do you think this would be down instead of up? Probably. What do we got here? Deck. Yeah, some signals moving higher. GEV. Look at that. We had a signal back here. If you had bought it here, you're up 140 points straight up. Don't sell until you get a signal. GH. I've been tracking this one because they got an FDA approval back here. Sold, and now look at that. There's a potential buy signal there. As far as a box range, yeah, there is one here. Where is it? It's I'll call it like that. So is it a box breakout? No. But it's definitely a bullish change. Let's put it that way. Maybe the monthly looks better. Yeah, a little better. There's a potential box right in here. The whole reason why I track this one is because they got an FDA approval, and obviously they've got to start selling product. And whether or not they're going to be a strong competitor, I don't think anybody knows. But, the company's got to shift from being like, we're approved to, okay, now let's start selling and competing. So, I don't know. We'll see. GM moving higher. General Motors, Google. There's a signal and it's moving higher. A bit of an inside week, but it's near the top range, so that's kind of bullish. Hood, signal, reaction. Everybody breathing a sigh of relief. Election signal, election jitters. IoT, same deal, pulling in. Box breakout, but volume is low. This one here, bullish signal, bearish signal, now bullish signal, but this one overall isn't so hot. I keep an eye on it just because it's in the genre of that Bitcoin related stuff, but this one's a laggard compared to some of the others, in my opinion. Netflix keeps going higher. Now, look at that, higher. And this one comes back to if you don't get any real contra signals, stay long. If you bought it like in here, yeah, you had a warning signal here, but it didn't really play out. And so you could have just held it, stayed long, and look at that. Now you're benefiting. Steel, moving up. There's a buy signal. Directly related to a Trump win. NVIDIA, breakout, moving higher, but, there's just no volume. No volume, so it is what it is. We'll see. This one, Oklo, uh, had a box structure here, but it broke downwards and then turned on a dime. Moved higher, but man, this one's a tough one. A lot of volume, but roll the dice on that one. Here we go, box breakout here. No volume though, but that's a Nancy Pelosi one. Race. Ugh. Ferraris. What's going on with Ferraris? Look at this. That's not such a hot signal. I wouldn't call it a negative signal. It's certainly not bullish. So let's put it back into watching. Rivian. If you're a Rivian bull, there's your signal to get long. Buy it next week if you think it's going to turn itself around. Root. I did buy some root, like I said last week in my last week's video. Big signal here. Kit long at the open, and we're making money. So you see, even though I missed stuff, I'm doing fine. This here's a potential box. Boy, look at that. Yeah, I guess I'd call it a potential. But square is okay. But it is a positive signal. Look at Upstart. Look at this move. Unbelievable. From 25 to 81. Wow. And green, green, green. Yeah, pay attention. So, heck of a move here. VRT. The warning signal, the I'm not so sure, flirted with these lows and now a lot higher. So you see, pink bar warning signals, you don't have to sell immediately. You just have to pay attention and understand the context. Like here was one and it did go down, but then it really turned around again. But I wouldn't have blamed anyone for selling in here. So the Zimmer, which I did buy some, it's up, but man, this is a tough one to hold. And that's it for list 3. Let's get into the final list, which are the bear signals, and then we'll wrap. Notice here, list 3 had a big list as well. Market's bullish, but bearish. There are some bearish signals, or at least that were on from last week, that haven't come off yet. So let's take a look at those. Airbnb. That's a fresh signal. That's a shooter. Look at that. That's a big one. Should you be buying Airbnb as a long? I would say no. Should you be shorting it? Well, maybe. But this is the type of situation where maybe you want to hedge your longs. Well, buy some puts. Put a short on. You know, that's how I would do a long-short portfolio. This one. AEHR. Box breakdown right here. Didn't really do much. We'll say it's still, but it makes the list. AMD. Hardly any bump here. If you're bullish on AMD, just stop. I'm sorry. I know that there's plenty of potential reasons to be bullish, but the chart doesn't confirm it yet. Sorry, JJ. Pink bar signal, yeah, it came up a little, but there's just, where's the green bars in here? ANET, oh, look at that. You know what that is. Shooter bar. Also a potential box. This is on warning. If you're a Star Trek fan, yellow alert. That doesn't look so hot. But we know from the past history, it tends to do this, but then it works out. So be careful. Oof. AOSL. Look at that. Clear as day. Box breakdown. And we know from the SMH that semiconductors didn't really do a whole heck of a lot. So I would say the semiconductor sector is... something's going on there. CEG, utilities. Look at that. Signal down and down. I don't know what happened, but I think this one's just ahead of its skis. Crocs. Well, ugly shoes, not selling so well. DHI housing went from number one, and then everything turned. I think housing's got some issues. Again, more confirmation of it. How would we draw the box here? Probably. It's been moving up. Could be here, or more like here. That looks a bit more reasonable. DJT, wild, wild stock. And yeah, it's all based on the election. Look at the volume. Oh my goodness. But that was a heck of a trade if you saw the volume coming in a few bars ago, which I did. And I started saying there's something brewing here. I don't know what. If you bought it, well, you made what, a triple? Pretty good. ELF. Okay, this one I was short. I covered in here because it reported good earnings, or at least better earnings, but it's still not great. If we look at our handy plugin, which scrapes some data, they did -6%. Woohoo! But they're still profitable. So I'm sure that's why people, and sales were still up 40%. So if they work out their profitability issues, then maybe this stock might start to uptrend again. But perfect reason to cover, and that's a bullish signal, but this one is now no longer belongs on this list. You could be a buyer on something like that, but don't suffer the fate of Cell H, which everybody was saying, it's a bottom. Yeah, does this look like a bottom? Not quite. Not at the moment. This is some buyers, but it doesn't quite look like a bottom to me. The same might be said for the ELF. Might be a bottom, or, well, I don't know, but no reason to stay short at the moment, and but not quite a reason to be, to take out a second mortgage. ENPH, I am short this one, and I was tweeting on this because I like to stroke my ego. But look at this, down, down, down. This one resembles the tan, so short the week. FSLR, I tried shorting it, but then I covered here because it had a bullish hammer, and again, pre-election. And now look at this, woof, pink bar, ugly bar in here. That might be a short, but, I don't know. This one here, ugly pink bar. Isn't it funny? It moved all these up here and then in 1 week gave it all back. Tough game. LMT had the big pink bar, but some rebound. They're probably going to make money off of defense. They always do. This one, the VAX. I wish I had bet against this one, but look at that. Red, red, red. You think they're going to sell more vaccines in the future? I bet you these guys get indicted. I wonder what Pfizer looks like. Oof, yeah. An election loser. That's what happens when you put out a vaccine that kills people. Just terrible. Look at that. They say that more young athletes have dropped dead in the last couple of years than in like the prior 80 years combined. Gee, you think it's from a shot they took? I do. Microsoft. Ugh. There's the big sell signal and not much of a reaction here. Remember how I said that the QQQs were sort of lackluster? Well, here's the prime reason. QQQ. Oh, no, which one was it? I can't remember. Well, anyways, Microsoft not performing well. That's going to hold some things back. This highly speculative one, nuclear, well, you had the warning here, but, well, I don't know about this one. Qualcomm, these are shooter bars, but, we are getting some green here, so that's probably sideways, but Qualcomm's a semi. SMCI, ugh, red, red, red. And now I read reports that this is in danger of not being able to file 10Ks and might be delisted. And this is one of NVIDIA's biggest customers. So I don't know how this all plays together. We'll see. Shark Ninja had the big down bar last week, but rebounded strong here. I would say if you held, you got to be a lot more skeptical of this at the moment. It's got to prove itself. Snow, I covered this short. It just doesn't work. I hate it. Look at that. Just thumping along the bottoms of its big monthly box range. Oh, well, someday it'll tank, but not today. That's an L for me. The Stinger, gets worse. Again, this is how you read charts. If you were long this one, there was your signal to get out. And look at it now, just ugly. And then TMDX, which some FinTwit people who always win and never lose seem to love this one. Why, I do not know. But that's an ugly sell down. Talked about this, and now it hardly did anything here. Hey, it wouldn't surprise me if it keeps going down to 50 or down here. Wouldn't that be a burn? But anyway, so that's the latest in terms of charts. A lot of bulls, some bearish stuff, but that's just relative strength at work, And there may be more stocks I don't cover that have taken off as well. So there's one final thing I want to show you, but the market's clearly bullish at this time. However, S&P's earnings estimates, latest estimates as of election day, November 5th. Okay, this is worrisome. We are now 79% reported for this quarter. So all the big boys have reported, only 20% left to go. And here is the comparison between last week's to this week's estimates. All down. Estimates dropped 1%. So the market taking off to a closing high of 59.95 in the S&P. Well, guess what? Price goes up, earnings went down, forecasts. So that means PEs go up, and now we're seeing, here's the valuation chart. Above 25 is a bubble or expensive. Well, these next few quarters are just highly expensive, and now forward PE is expensive, is in bubble range right there. Woof, this market we may go zooming up, but the valuation keeps getting worse. And this is worrisome. The last time forward PE got into this range was when the Fed started raising rates. Also during COVID. And then, how long was it since then? Well, 2007, when markets started to keep going up and valuations started dropping. You see the great financial crisis, but you see how it turned in 2007. And then before that, the internet bubble starting in 1997, 98. And if we see this just on forward PE, we were in an overvalued situation for 97 to 2002 here. But the market didn't recover until like 2004. I'll call it end of 2003. So this is why valuations, I'm just locked in on them. And I think that these valuations keep becoming more of a problem. However, we can still go up, we can still make money, but We may, when the market eventually peaks, it could be years from now, but eventually when it does, we'll probably have a hangover and we'll want to go on vacation. So, anyways, that is the weekend review. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.